We will be talking today about the highly controversial issue of the European Citizens Initiative called My Voice, My Choice. And my guest for this discussion today is Bert-Jan Ruissen, member of the European Parliament for SGP in the Netherlands, chief whip of the ECR group in the Parliament, and also member of the European Christian Political Party. First of all, there's a lot to talk about on this European Citizens Initiative. It has been highly debated and discussed here in the European Parliament. However, before we delve into this issue and the details and the particulars, let's talk about what exactly an ECI is so that our viewers are familiar with this concept. What's a European Citizens Initiative?
Well, it's already in the name. As citizens, you can take the initiative to put something on the agenda. That's the whole idea of the European Citizens Initiative. That means that you have to collect enough signatures, 1 million signatures, and when you collected enough signatures, then you can put something on our agenda, on the agenda of the Parliament and on the agenda of the Commission. And the Commission and the Parliament is not obliged, let's say, to give a kind of a follow-up on it, but at least we have to debate on the subject.
So it's not mandatory to make a regulation on it, but it is a request of the citizens, the European citizens, for the European Union to take action.
Right.
But as far as I know, with all ECIs, it is mandatory, it's compulsory, that it is a European competence. The issue that they address is a European competence. It cannot be a member state competence.
Yes.
Is that right?
That is completely right. And that's one of the big doubts and big concerns we have related to the My Voice, My Choice initiative. Because this is indeed an initiative about abortion. And abortion is a competence of the member states. The EU is not competent in that field. So that makes already clear that from our point of view, the Commission do not have a good, let's say, correct legal base to act and to give a follow-up on this specific citizen initiative.
Yes, the initiators of the ECI, they argued that it's a health care issue, and even as far as I know, health care is a member state competence, and the Commission only has supporting capacity, or it cannot overrule the member states on healthcare issues. It can only coordinate or mainly support member states in healthcare issues. But it's also arguable if abortion is a healthcare issue.
Yeah, but it's also really problematic to consider and to see abortion as healthcare. I think we have also to say that the whole initiative of supporting abortion is really undermining one of the big principles of the Charter of the EU. I'm referring to Article 2 of the Charter, where you can read that we have to protect life. The right to live is in the Charter. So that's one of the big principles.
This is the European Charter.
I'm talking about the European Charter
principles. Yeah.
Yes, and by allowing abortion, really, for me, it's impossible to see that as healthcare, because you are killing unborn children. You are undermining the right to live. So that's, in my opinion, also really problematic part of this citizens' initiative as a follow-up of the Commission by this.
Now, specifically, the ECI refers to what exactly? Like, what do the initiators of the ECI request from the Commission to do? What is it about? What is it trying to address? Because abortion is very general. What is the specific issue it is trying to target and to address?
Mainly the cross-border abortion. That's what I would like to address. So we are talking about women, for example, women who come from Poland or from Malta, coming from countries with a very strict abortion law. And with this initiative, they are asking, let's say, for a fund in order, well, to finance these ladies when they were when they choose, let's say, to go, let's say, to another member state, for example, to the Netherlands, where abortion is possible. And with these funds, the idea is to make the abortion possible then in the country where abortion is allowed. So that's what we mean with cross-border, this cross-border abortion initiative. It's really, well,
so we can,
controversial.
So basically we can say that there is an issue which is, well, it's debatable whether it's a European competence. The European Commission only has a supporting role, even if we can say that abortion is a healthcare issue. What is the ECI trying to achieve? Cross-border trafficking of pregnant women and paid for by the European taxpayer? This sounds absurd.
It is really absurd. It's really absurd. It's also, Lucy, let's say, undermining the competence of the member states. Malta, for example, has a very strict abortion law because for them protection of unborn children is a really fundamental issue for them. They really believe, and I really support them. We have to take care of vulnerable people. We have to take care of unborn children. We have to protect them. And with this initiative, the Commission is undermining the policy of Malta, the policy of Poland, for example, who has also very strict abortion policy. And with this initiative, they give women who are coming from these countries the possibility, the financial means to go abroad, to travel to the Netherlands,
get their abortion,
and to get their abortion. That's really an undermining of the policy of the member states.
And then the ECI has managed to gather the support of 1.2 million European citizens by way of signatures. And it has submitted this to the European Commission. And for weeks we have been waiting for the response of the European Commission. What did the European Commission respond to the ECI? What was the statement of the European Commission on this issue?
Yeah, well, the statement of the Commission was, well, we will not create a separate fund. So they will not create a separate fund for this. That's the good news. But at the same time, the Commission said, we have already a fund called the European Social Fund. And they said, well, we will use that specific European Social Fund for financing abortions in the future.
As far as I know, the ESF and the ESF Plus, it was when it was initiated and when it was established with the very good and healthy aim of helping poverty across the European Union. How does the issue of abortion fit this category? I don't understand.
It don't fit, to be honest. In my opinion, and we tabled already a whole package of questions about this, it don't fit because there's no legal base in the regulation for the European Social Fund for subsidizing, for financing abortion. Abortion is not mentioned in that regulation. It's a fund meant for helping people to get a job, for helping people who are suffering, to prevent poverty. That's the target of that fund. And the Commission is now referring to, well, they are saying, well, but healthcare is also mentioned in the European Social Fund. So the reference to healthcare in the ESF is now used by the Commission as let's say, a legal base for this cross-border abortion initiative. And that's really problematic because, as I said in the beginning, we cannot see abortion as healthcare.
So this is probably the most problematic aspect of the response of the European Commission, that it is now putting abortion into the category of healthcare.
Yes, that's really
and
problematic.
pretending that the ESF Plus can be used for, for improving the healthcare of women who want to terminate their pregnancies and get an abortion elsewhere.
And our reply to that is, yes, we realize that women can be in a difficult situation, for example. When I can imagine that some circumstances it can be difficult for vulnerable women. But it's really hard. I cannot see abortion as a solution in this respect. I think also as ECPP we have to stress that we have to provide sufficient support and help to women who are suffering and who are doubting about what to do
in such a situation. Absolutely, absolutely, yes. And abortion is not the solution that we are looking for in this instance. Now, I have heard from some pro-life MEPs and from some pro-life deputies and even parties celebrating when the European Commission came out with this response and said, well, this is a fantastic victory because we have avoided the worst case scenario whereby the European Commission creates or drafts a legislation as a result of the ECI. And now the European Commission is not going to draft legislation, that's clear. However, they have provided this ESF Plus fund and equated abortion with healthcare, as you described very well. Where is the truth now? How is this a success, or is this a setback for pro-life campaigners like yourself or like the European Christian Political Party? How should we look at this decision? Is the glass half full or half empty or something else?
In my opinion, this is a setback. This is not a positive step for the pro-life movement. Yes, I realize the good news is that the Commission does not create a new fund, so no specific, let's say, abortion fund. That's a positive part of the story.
So there is something positive at least.
There's something possible.
It could be worse.
It could be worse, but on the other hand, the Commission opens now the door. She opens the door for financing opens the door for using EU money to get an abortion, and that's really cross-border indeed. And now we have discussions about the multi-annual financial framework for the coming years.
This is the 7-year budget of the
7 year of
European
the budget.
Union.
So we have to be very careful and see what has happened in that respect. I'm afraid that the Commission will also try, let's say, to use the multi-annual framework for the coming years to broaden the scope and to create more possibilities for financing abortion from the EU budget.
Are there certain implications for individual member states? I mean, you have described very well that the ethical stance, position, and the regulations are very different across the 27 member states. Malta, you mentioned as one extreme example, and then there are some liberal countries. So there is a very wide selection of positions on this issue. Is there a certain implication stemming from this decision for the different member states?
Yeah, well, at least the Commission has to respect the law in the different member states. For example, when a woman is traveling to the Netherlands and the abortion takes place in the Netherlands, then the law of the Netherlands has to be respected.
So is the member states' law which prevails? There is no overriding European regulation, or it doesn't impose its will. It's at the member states level.
Indeed, but that means also, and that's a consequence of this policy. The consequence is that women from Malta, for example, was a very strict, where we have very strict law related to abortion, can travel to the Netherlands and can use EU money and can use the more flexible Dutch law related to abortion. That's the other reality, unfortunately, and then that creates, in my opinion, the situation where we are going to, let's say, to undermine, in this respect, the policy of Malta, who has a very
the national competence,
good policy related to abortion.
Yes. What are the next steps? I mean, for you as a member of the European Parliament and also chief whip of a group, the ECR group, but also for the European Christian Political Party, what are the next steps? Has this issue now come to a dead end? We have to accept it and bury it and maybe do something at a later stage if it evolves, or is there something imminent we can do to get our pro-life message across?
Yeah, we have to ask for more clarification at least.
From the Commission?
From the Commission, and we did that already. We tabled a whole package of written questions, so we are waiting now for the answer.
As an MEP or as a group?
I did it as an MEP together with other MEPs, other colleagues. So let's wait for the answer, because in my opinion, the legal base for this initiative is very weak. And I said also to other colleagues, maybe we have also to consider whether we can take maybe legal steps, because the Commission is now doing something which is not in line with the treaty, which is not in line with the legal base in the European Social Fund. So also from a legal point of view, I think there are possibilities, and we are now in we are discussing this now with different lawyers to see what are the possibilities. So that's maybe also a possibility to complain and to start a legal procedure
against the Commission.
Against the Commission
for it overstepping its mandate. Indeed. And doing something against the treaties or against in an issue which is not a clear European competence.
Indeed. And we have also in the discussion of the new financial framework for the coming years, we have also to be very keen on that and try to avoid that this budget will be continued and try to avoid a specific earmarking
in the budget, in the 7 years budget for abortions.
For abortions, yes.
I see. Very good. Now, just my final question. That I remember in 2014 there was a European Citizens Initiative by one of us on abortion, where they were asking the European Commission not to fund and not to provide any financial support to any activities whereby they can destroy embryos. I think that was the target of the ECI, and they collected 1.9 million, almost double the amount of signatures for that ECI, and the Commission turned it down, didn't even respond to it. Whereby now we can see another ECI, which is basically promoting abortion, cross-border, whatever. There is a bit of an inconsistency. It doesn't seem that the Commission is dealing with the European Citizens Initiative in a very responsible and in a consistent manner, although both of them are concerned about more or less the same type of ethical issue. Does this particular response from the European Commission give an indication of how the Commission is going to deal with European citizens' initiatives in general? And I'm asking this as a European citizen. I think it's a very good and a great idea that European citizens can influence the European decision making. This instrument does bring to the European citizens closer the European institutions and the European legislation. But these type of decisions are are not very encouraging from the European citizens' point of view.
No, indeed.
How do you see, what does this decision mean for the future of an ECI?
Yes, well, it's a kind of a signal that the Commission is listening to very, let's say, progressive initiatives. And it seems that the Commission is just ignoring voices, more conservative voices. That's, at least you can say, when you compare these two initiatives,
that there is a bias, there is a liberal bias.
There's a really liberal bias. Yeah. But nevertheless, it's really important to come forward and to continue with the pro-life voices and with the more conservative voices. We cannot stop here. We have to be very vocal. And it's really good to see that pro-life organizations, pro-life members of parliament are working together, are promoting life. And I see that the voice, the pro-life voice in Europe is becoming stronger and stronger. So let us not give up. Let's continue our important work in this respect.
Excellent. I think that's a very nice and positive note to end this conversation on. But it appears that we will have in the future more to talk about this subject, sure, because it certainly doesn't stop here. But indeed, thank you very much for discussing this issue of this ECI, My Voice, My Choice. And well, hopefully we can continue our fight for the pro-life issues here in the European Parliament. Thank you very much, Bert-Jan, for your time.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.